except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying?
This is why I train in martial arts.
Yeah, so Defund the Police, Are You Crazy? Part 2. So, yes, I'm not the martial arts instructor for you because I'm obviously an Uncle Tom sellout, self hating black man who hates his people. Not that his own people have tried to hurt him and the police were needed. Not that he had to help his people. Not that other people from other races have not gone off the deep end and the police had to come to calm things down. Okay? No, that's never happened. Not that I say this, even though I know I myself have been profiled and really hope I'm never profiled again. You've heard the expression, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Right? If you haven't, now you have. That means don't go off the deep end while you're trying to get rid or correct in a situation. Don't do something stupid. Okay, so now we're going to get to the audio from Permission to Exist. What she's talking about, her thing is off the deep end, defund the police. I'm saying to defund the police, are you crazy? So let's go.
You guys heard me say. What's the last thing you guys heard me say before I asked about being muted? Am I muted? Or was I muted? Oh, it was like 6 seconds.
Oh, that's right. She has some audio difficulties.
Okay, I'll start over just in case. It was only a few seconds. Okay, I have no idea how that happened because I actually have not touched my computer. So what I was saying was, right. Okay, crime in rich neighborhoods. What I was saying was, if simply providing the basics of life solved crime issues, we would never hear about crime in the rich neighborhoods. But it does happen all the time. A lot of it gets swept under the rug. It'll never hit the news. But oftentimes when their crimes occur, they're like major and over the top. So for example, it's a sweet suburban neighborhood, totally peaceful. You can leave your doors unlocked at night type situation. And it's been like that for years. And then one weekend, a man kills his whole family, or a woman kills all her kids. You see what I mean? So what I'm saying is, if simply having everything you needed in life was all that was required to prevent crime, we would never see crime in the rich neighborhoods, and we do.
I lived in a neighborhood that wasn't a rich neighborhood, but it looked very good on the outside. And it's not where I'm at now. This was several neighborhoods ago. And there was a body in a dumpster. There was a couple of shootings. Actually, there were several shootings. They never made the news. But just because it didn't make the news doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I was working downtown in corporate America doing this when I lived in this neighborhood. And I had to step over chalk outline tape one time to catch the bus because somebody got shot right outside my house. I never saw it on the news though. So just because it don't make the news doesn't mean it's not happening. And that, I would call it a sub neighborhood because it was really part of a bigger community. In that sub neighborhood, if you lived there, you had enough money to take care of yourself. I'm not saying you were super balling and everybody had Mercedes Benz and it was Wakanda. Well, maybe it was like South Wakanda. If you lived in that neighborhood, you made enough money to at least have health benefits. Okay? It wasn't anybody in that neighborhood that was truly starving. It was the point to where if you didn't have money, if you lived in that neighborhood, if you ain't had money, you probably had enough financial resources to where you could borrow it from someone else. So people's basic needs were met. And that still wasn't enough to keep people from acting simple and violent.
Yeah, internet's been acting weird today, right? So, so that's my point. Yes, still allocate. Yes, we need to make this as equitable as possible and as humane as possible because in reality, we treat our pets way better than we treat a lot of humans. So we got to get back into the habit of that, treating people humanely, but removing the police altogether from that equation is not the answer. It's not. It really isn't. And I recognize that there are major issues going on. I recognize that there is a lot of corruption in these departments that needs to be filtered out and removed. I recognize that 100%, and I would never take that away. Never. Right? And just like we discussed in our last live streams, I think there's a lot of other issues going on as well. So yeah, it's a discussion that needs to be had, but the complete removal is insane to me because it implies that we as a society are going to hold ourselves to such a standard that we no longer need the police anymore. And I just simply don't think that we're there yet.
We are never going to be there until Jesus is here. Jesus has to be here for us to act like that. We didn't act like that when he was here the first time. Did we? We didn't even think that he was God. So you really think we're going to get to that point? Even if we had universal basic income and people didn't have to work, somebody would still be violent. I guarantee somebody would still do something. That's why you need to train in martial arts. Well, that's one reason. In addition to the other benefits, that's one of the reasons why I train in martial arts. I'm a big dude, and there's still people that try to be violent towards me. It's insane. It's insane. And some of these people that have tried to be violent towards me over my lifetime, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, I know now they're narcissistic and their egos are just so big that they really think that because somebody is kind, they can intimidate them. Or like if it's a female, they think they can get away with attacking you. You're just going to stand there and not at least move out of the way. I mean, I know that now, but people are not going to stop being violent. That's why we need things like police, regardless of their point of origin. Now, we need them. And you never have any type of security or any type of warrior class at all if people always behave themselves and listen to words. That's never happened in history. It's not going to happen. We're not in the Garden of Eden anymore, people. We're not.
If you want to, I don't want to say entertain yourself because it's not entertaining, but if you want to educate yourself per se, just go online, go on YouTube or wherever and just type in school fight videos. School fight compilation. I saw a video like a year ago of a student hitting an elderly teacher in her face. And this woman had just gotten back from recovering from cancer. So
I saw that video, by the way. I remember that one. Oh, that made me, that one, oh man. Anyway, well, see, that's why I hope I'm still able to move when I'm old, because I know somebody young going to try me. I know they are. I could be the nicest old man in the world, and they're still going, what you going to do, old? I was going to say the other word that I know they're going to say, but I can't say it in case any of the students are watching or one of my supervisors. I got like 9 supervisors now. Was watching, and then I would look bad. So I can't say the word that rhymes with trigger, you know. Not talking about Roy Rogers' horse.
Seeing that filled me with a unique rage because my mom was a teacher for years. So seeing this girl hit this woman in her face was like seeing someone hit my mom in her face. And if the police weren't there to apprehend that little girl, I can't tell you what I would have done to her, you know, if that was my mother. Seeing that video, I'm like, the police better go get her. The police better get her. I'm going to give you 24 hours for the police to go pick her up. Because if they don't, I can't promise you what's going to happen to her after that. Hitting an old woman in her face.
Yeah, the police protect people from you, listener, too. You never wanted it? I'm going to let her say it. I think she gets to it here.
An elder and a teacher in her face. And you want to take the police out of schools? I bring up that story to say, I don't think people realize just how bad the schools have gotten. When I was a teacher...
I don't mean to interrupt her. This is the main gist I want her to get to. But she said it earlier in the video and I can't remember where. Basically, like jail is a real deterrent. There are people that don't do things because they don't want to go to jail. Okay? I myself have stopped from going upside some heads because I said, I don't want to go to jail. Is this worth going to jail over? No, it's not worth going to jail. Let me breathe. And calmness is restored.
I used to say they need to put cameras in the classrooms. You know how they have body cams now on police? You need cameras in the classroom. You need to see what's happening. You really need to see what's going on. Now, playing devil's advocate, I recognize that a lot of the curriculum is outdated, needs to be overhauled. It's not stimulating. It's not something a lot of kids would want to pay attention to. I acknowledge that and I recognize that. But at the same time, that's no excuse for throwing a desk, trashing a classroom, hitting an elderly teacher in her face, and so many other things. I know you guys saw a couple years ago that teacher who, he got so much money on GoFundMe because I think the student hit him first. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. And
it wasn't Cecil Washington. I remember that video too. And as someone who fought as a teenager, I'm gonna tell you, man, sometimes, like some of these people, and that's why you need to put your kid in martial arts training. You could be a good kid, and just the quote unquote bad kids just won't leave them alone, and you just have to go upside their head to get them off you. And the one that she's talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's talking about the time when that middle school kid attacked that man, that male teacher. That dude was stocky. I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, I wouldn't even step to this dude. What is wrong with this kid? The kid, he's lucky. He's lucky that man held back. And I gotta say, I think it's the one I'm remembering because I've seen several videos like this. You don't believe her? Just type in school fights. It's ridiculous. I used to type that in just when I was slow in coming up with original content for the channel, to come up with stuff for the channel and to promote my class. Say, hey, look at this school fight. This is why you need to put your kid in my class. And somebody, at least one person would see it, and I would eventually, get people coming in. Like the thug baby, that's what I called it. Oh, you shouldn't call the baby a thug. Remember the one, this was a video years ago where the baby, it was like a toddler, pants sagging, was beating up this other toddler. No, the toddler was acting real aggressive and flexing, and the people filming it thought it was cute. And basically the toddler was displaying aggressive pre-criminal behavior as a toddler. And 2-year-olds are already aggressive with mine, no, but this child was imitating the behavior that he saw around him. So it wasn't that he was a bad child. He was imitating what he saw. And this is another rabbit hole from when my son was in daycare. And people like, you shouldn't be teaching that boy karate at that age. He might misuse it and abuse it. Oh, he's not here now. Ask him about the scratch that he has on his face. He has a little scar on his face because another toddler tried to slice him with a box cutter. And he's alive because daddy taught him how to kick people in the head. And he told me this boy scratched me. What'd you do? I kicked him in the head. And I said, well, you didn't kill him, did you? No, but he ain't scratched me no more. I said, all right, next time tell the teacher, because I thought it was literally scratch, not the boy. And then he told me, yeah, that boy scratched me, his fingernail grew long. And I was like, wait a minute. Because he was telling me this as I was using a box cutter. We were moving. I was like cutting the tape and stuff to pack stuff. And I said, did he scratch your face with this? Yeah, he scratched me. Why didn't you tell me? Because I did tell you. Remember, I said the boy scratched me. I show you where he scratched me. And then I kicked him in the head. And when I kicked him in the head, he dropped the thing he scratched me with. And he ain't scratched me no more. This daycare, right? This daycare. Because it turns out the daycare was across from a bad neighborhood. And the bad neighborhood, I'm not even going to say bad, because it's not the people in the neighborhood's fault per se. It's society allowing this stuff to get to this point. But the people in the impoverished area used to mess with the daycare kids. Until my kid came along and started kicking people in the head, and it died down. That's why you need to put your kids in martial arts. Keeping these in about 15-minute segments. This is part 2 of Defund the Police. Are you crazy? I'm going to come up with part 3 really soon. Just wait.